reason why I just wanted to flag that one is that section of the Bruce is tidal, so there is the prospect that that road could again be out of action at some stage if rainfall continued at the wrong location. So hence the reason why it's really important for people to be able to stay up to date with that information. We've done a lot of work with the Queensland Trucking Association about making sure that there was we were able to thread the needle in some of those key supplies, both on the Bruce but also some of those western corridors, and Brent can explain that. But I do want to thank the QTA for the way that they've worked with Minister Mick and others. Okay, just turning to agriculture, it's very early days and the impact is yet not fully known. There are certain areas that have had very large rainfall, and the impact on cattle will be determined in the days ahead. I'll make this observation. It appears that the stock go into the event in a much better condition than they did in 2019. And many people will remember those images from 2019. They were harrowing. And at this stage, it appears that the impact on stock will be far less than 2019. Obviously, there will be individuals that are impacted massively. That's the way that these events work. But on a wide scale, it appears that the rainfall has been a little more forgiving across that wide area, and that the stock go in better condition. That said, calves and weaners will be impacted because of lower temperatures and those wind factors, and that means that there could be some significant stock loss. We stand ready to be able to provide fodder if that is required, and I'll touch on the Commonwealth's role in that in a moment. But across the board, we're genuinely pleased with the level of work that the councils have done in keeping in touch with those primary producers, and we stand ready to assist in any way, shape and form. The message I really want to give to people is we did a lot of work ahead of this disaster season to make sure that we were ready, and we are. And I hope that gives people confidence that we have pre-positioned assets, but we also have a great relationship with the councils and indeed the federal government, and I do believe that stands us in really good stead. I can say that I believe we are better prepared for a disaster season in any time in Queensland's history. And that is the result of 3 levels of government working really well together and a real focus on getting this right. In a minute, I'll ask Dan, the Police Minister, to also explain some of the assets that we've pre-positioned. But just to give people an indication, we have swiftwater rescue teams right across the impacted area. We had them ahead of the game prepared into areas like Mount Isa and Julia Creek, as well as big bases in Cairns and Townsville. We've got senior police who have been pre-deployed to a number of those areas. QAS staff, SES staff, they are all there and ahead of any impacts. And there is the prospect of more rain across different areas, so we stand ready to respond, and as well as with some of those rising rivers that will inevitably come through, and there will be communities that are isolated for some time. Turning to food supplies, Brent will touch on that. We have the Deputy Premier join us today. He's done a lot of work in that space, and being able to work with the Trucking Association does help in getting supplies through, but we also have made sure that we have a big focus on that, and Brent can touch on that in a moment. We've also had a number of the key locations where avgas has been provided ahead of time. There were some impacts that we saw previously where there was big shortages in aviation fuel, so we've made sure that there are supplies in some of those key areas if that is needed in the days ahead. To energy. At the height
that was Queensland Premier David Crisafulli speaking about the flooding impacting parts of North Queensland. Flood warnings have been activated in North Queensland, he said, and he said it also appears stock losses will be far less than the weather event back in 2019. Widespread preparations in place. Swiftwater rescue crews are deployed across all of those impacted areas.